Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another episode of Inside DB Rated. This is the dual commentary series where we go and spectate random matches on DB's ladder and just check out what people are playing. So this is going to be a matchup between Turtle Fox on Zoodiac Eldlich versus Yuchi Hongroy on Dragon Link. And actually, funnily enough, I believe DB Grinder actually just did a match on this exact matchup, but with different players. So pretty fascinating to see that this is still pretty popular for deck choices here. But we're going to go ahead and get started without any further ado. So it looks like Dragon Link going to take the RPS win, and they're going to opt to start here. And both players on 40 cards. The opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Chaos Space, Chamber Dragon Maid, Recharger, Ash, and War Legacy Guard Dragon. So this hand definitely has the potential to combo off quite hard with two very strong extenders and the Dragon Maid package to start. Plus has a hand trap to back everything up. And then the opening hand for Zoodiac Eldlich is going to be Bell, Conquistador, Meister, Tenki, and Joel. That is a lot of hand traps here. 3 hand traps, and both parts of the engine as well. So this should be quite a lot of back and forth game 1. Going to activate Chaos Space to start. That's going to pitch Recharger to search for a copy of Wyver Burster. And then Joel going to be used here. That is quite strong. So they're going to have to either commit to a board and lose out on like pluses via Wyver Burster or a Chamber or like Tracer, or not Tracer, sorry, Striker Dragon. Or they just have to not really do a whole lot. Let's see what ends up happening. They're just going to pass, actually, which is fair enough given the circumstances. It's going to be risky if this was like a VW or Drytron matchup, but this definitely works. Ash will be enough to at least have an impact for sure. So draws Ram for turn. Going to go to main phase 1 and activate Tenki. That's going to search for nothing because it gets ashed. So actually that Ram top deck definitely mattered because they'd just be out a Zoo play this turn otherwise. But going to normal summon the Ram and then go into a copy of Borbo and then attack for 500 damage. And then in main phase 2, you're going to go for Hammer Kong, and then Tiger Mortar, and then the Zeus. And then they're going to set a copy of Conquistador as well, and then they're going to pass there. So for turn, the top deck is going to be Gamma. That is pretty good. So if you're trying to force Zeus, or like bait Zeus, maybe you could like go War Legacy Guard Dragon. If they chain Zeus, you can go Gamma, and that's pretty good. Otherwise, it might be a little tough to make this live. We'll see what happens. So they're going to go for Wyver Burster first, actually. So trying to not go for that play. Going for other stuff instead. They're going to use Zeus on summon here. So that's going to wipe the board. Going to activate Wyver Burster and then chain Meister. Oh, Gamma's live now because the board is clear. Yeah, going to Gamma negate the Skull Meister. So that is very powerful because this is a free Chaos Ruler or a free Needle Fiber as well. So like resolving this on your own turn in this deck specifically is even better than normal. But going to grab the Collapse Serpent because Wyver Burster resolves. And then going to proceed from here. Going to link it to a copy of Fiber. So going for that. That's going to summon a copy of Rocket Synchron from deck. And then going to special summon the Collapse Serpent. That's going to banish Wyver Burster for its effect, or for its summoning condition. And then Zeus going to be used to wipe the board. Still has pretty good follow-ups because I believe we have not normal summoned yet. And we also have the best extender in the deck pretty much. Going to go for Chaos Space. That's going to put back Wyver Burster and then draw Safer. So there's an additional normal summon alternative. We could grab back the Wyver Burster, I guess, that we just put back. But that's not like really ideal. Yeah, going to go for Chamber instead. I do like this. So that's going to search for Tidying. And then going to link that off for a copy of Striker Dragon. That effect is going to search for a copy of Boot Sector Launch. And then going to activate War Legacy Guard Dragon. That is going to be Belled. Yeah, pretty prime time to bell that to negate it. And then going to set Tidying. And then activate the Tracer, or Striker. Why do I keep calling this Tracer? It's Striker. Activate Striker Dragon. That's going to add back a Rocket Synchron. And then going to activate the Boot Sector Launch. That's going to summon that Rocket Synchron from hand. And then going to pass. Yeah, so this way the Tidying actually has a monster to bounce to hand instead of the Striker Dragon. So a little bit more value there. For turn, the top deck's going to be Cursed Eldon. They actually didn't use Conquistador in the end phase. Even though they could have, because it was sent via Zeus. So interesting to see why that was the case. But yeah, both players are pretty even right now. Kind of hard to tell who's going to win this one. Going to go to battle phase after switching Zeus to attack position and then going to attack Rocket Synchron. That's going to force the Tidying. So that's going to bounce both to hand. And then in main phase 2, they're going to activate Curse Eldland. That's going to pay 800 to search for a copy of Conquistador. So pretty good. One interruption for sure. Going to banish the Conquistador at end phase in Graveyard. So that's going to go for Scarlet. And then going to pass. For turn, the Dragon League player is going to top deck Tracer. So they have lots of follow-ups here. They have Tiding, they have Brute Sector, they have a normal summon, and then they have like multiple rockets. So quite good. Gonna go for Tiding, that's gonna bring back Chamber. And then Chamber effect on summon is going to grab a copy of another Tiding. Yeah, we've seen this quite often, 2 Tiding in the deck. And then gonna go to main 1, normal summon safer. And then those 2 are going to turn into a copy of the Romulus. And then Romulus effect is going to search for Ravine. I really like that Ravine is a go-to now for this deck. Obviously, without Link Cross, the Divine Lance doesn't do nearly as much since Fiber by itself doesn't actually get you a combo anymore. You need like other extenders to go with it. So I do like that this card is there as like a way to kind of have maybe another starter, even if you open it, which is not bad. And like it makes Romulus much less of a choke point. And I really like the flexibility this deck has now. Super cool. Gonna go for Brute Sector launch. That is going to be Think Dawn. Going to go for Conquistador and then Scarlet. So that's gonna pop the Brute Sector. Yeah, the Tracer wasn't known because it was drawn for this turn, but Synchron was already known. So there's still Ravine as follow-up here. I believe we already normal summoned. Yeah, we normal the safer. Gonna go Ravine, pitch Synchron. That's going to send a copy of Levianeer. Yeah, because we already have Safer, so we can like try and pop the board. Gonna go for Safer to add back Levy. And then going to summon Levy by banishing Gamma, Collapse Safer, and Striker, and that's gonna pop the monsters on board. And then gonna go to battle phase, attack for 12. And then main phase 2, gonna set Tiding, and then pass. So they can actually bounce the Levy back, which is cool. Pretty good stuff. For turn, the top deck is going to be Nibiru. A little bit late, but I mean, not the end of the world either. Going to go for Curse Eldland. That's going to pay 800 to search. And that is going to grab a copy of Wakero. And then going to activate Golden Lord effect. That's going to summon itself by sending Curse Eldland. And chooses to actually not use Curse Eldland effect. So they're going to go straight to battle phase. And then attack into the Levianeer. That's going to prompt the Tiding. So that's going to add back bounce back the Levy as well as the Golden Lord. And then in main phase 2, they're going to probably use Lord to send away Ravine, I'd imagine. That's like a really good follow-up. Yeah, just going to send away Ravine. And then end phase, going to get Scarlet and Conquistador and Wakero. So going to set Scarlet, Black Awakening, and Conquistador as well. So there's 2 interruptions this time around with Conquistador and Nibiru. The Dragon Link player still has Tidying and has like a fair amount of like good quality cards in hand. Lots of good back and forth this match for sure. Draws Wyvern Burster, which was actually put back via Chaos Space a couple turns ago. So they're going to go for Tidying. That's going to bring back the Chamber. And then goes for Special Summon of Wyvern Burster. So there's no third target for Chamber. We've seen some players experiment with Hospitality in the list, so good to know that they're not on it. That's like useful. Going to go for LP, and then going to go for Striker Dragon, and then going to activate LP effect. They're going to let that resolve. I think this is fine, because if you obviously Conquistador or Scarlet first, then you lock yourself out of Nibiru. So trying to get more value out of it. Going to go for Tracer off of that, and then going to link Tracer away into a copy of Pisty, and then Striker Dragon effect, going to target itself. It actually targets both the monster on field and the rocket engrave. So that's like important to know. But in this case, there's only one target. We're going to chain Nibiru in response. So that is pretty good. That's going to wipe the board. There still is Levy and Rocket Tracer as follow-ups. Levy effect is going to activate because banishing lights and darks here. So that's going to pop the board. And Turtle Fox lets this go. And since this doesn't target, now they get to kind of have their pick of the litter. So it might be worth it to just like hit the Scarlet and then something besides Conk, because Conk at this point wouldn't really do anything besides just act as a body. So we're going to hit Scarlet and Nibiru. And then going to normal summon Tracer. and then use Tracer effect on the token, and that's going to summon... Oh, that was just a scoop. Use him. I don't think Tracer was used this turn. Okay, they meant Recharger. Okay. Yeah, Recharger was banished for Wyvern Burster all the way back in turn 1, actually, I think. Or turn 2, rather. And then I guess there's just no more targets. Couldn't go into like anything relevant. Hot Red requires a Synchro, I believe. Like a Dark Dragon Synchro. So yeah, I guess fair enough. If there's no more plays, that's going to be the end of game 1. I didn't expect it to end like that, but there we go. So moving into game 2, it looks like Dragon Link going to go first again. If you guys are enjoying this commentary, definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. But the opening hand this time around for Dragon Link is going to be Absa Router, Double Chamber, Rocket Tracer, and Recharger. So this hand is quite good. It doesn't have like a ton of extenders, but has like a lot of just play starters. Plus this matchup, as we already saw in game 1, is grindy, so good to have like a myriad of different plays available. And then the opening hand for Zoodiac Eldlich is going to be Double Solemn Strike, Droll, Scarlet, and Ram. So both engines again, and solid hand trap, the same one that actually stopped the Dragon Link's player turn entirely last time, and then 2 strikes to back it up. So we're going to go for Normal Summon of Chamber, that's going to search for a copy of Tidying, and then going to activate Droll here. Oh, chooses not to? Oh, they just said hold on. So they're going to use Droll as a matter of fact. And then going to set Tidying. Yeah, that's fair enough. Can't really do a whole ton after that. Draws Tenki for turn, so has Tenki Ram for 2 games in a row. Going to activate Tenki, that's going to search for a copy of Thuriblade. And then going to activate Thuriblade, that effect is going to pitch Ram to draw Cursed Eldland. That is very good. So yeah, both engines are fully online now. Pretty solid. Going to go into Borbo. And then going to go for Trident. And then goes into battle phase. Attacks with Trident into the chamber. And then going to activate Tidying in response to the attack. Going to use Trident to hit the chamber. And it does in fact still bounce. Because it tries to resolve as much as it can. Because it doesn't say return both targets. It just says return them. So actually, by using Trident there, that puts the chamber into the graveyard, where it can be used as follow-up on the next turn. So I think that was a bit of a misstep. Gonna go to main phase 2, gonna activate Cursed Eldland. That's gonna pay 100 life points to search for a copy of Wakero. Actually, you know what they could have done? They could have actually Trident popped their own Tenki, because it's blocking a zone, because they want to set all of these, but now they can't. So they have to choose, probably just gonna like set strike, or like 1 strike. Oh, never mind, I'm wrong again. So they're going to set a double strike and actually leave Wakero in hand. I guess double strike is like more impactful for sure, which is reasonable. Gonna pass from there. I do wonder if I said quick launch because I saw the top deck was quick launch, but I do wonder if Dragon Link will be able to push through all of this. So the top deck is quick launch, as I just mentioned. Going to activate Tidying in standby phase to bring back the chamber. And then chamber effect is going to search for another Tidying. Actually, you know what? If they use this in draw phase instead of standby phase, that actually plays around Joel. Because Joel actually specifies that you can't use it in the draw phase. It's similar to Salomon Great Circle, where people would try and play around Joel that way. So that actually could be relevant for sure. Because we've seen Joel come up twice now already in this match, so it's worth playing around. But they're going to search for Tidying off of that and then go for a normal summon a Tracer. And then special summon Absa Router. And then they're going to go for a copy of the Romulus. And then chain link 1 Romulus, chain link 2 Router. So that's going to add Tracer and Dragon Ravine. They're going to turn Tracer into a copy of Striker Dragon. That effect is going to search for a copy of Boot Sector. And then they're going to go for Quick Launch. That's going to summon out a copy of Tracer from deck. And then they're going to turn that Tracer into a copy of Guard Dragon LP. So all 3 Tracers in a circulation. LP effect, that's going to be Solemn Striked. And then going to go for Boot Sector. That's going to summon out the Tracer and the Recharger out of hand. And then the Recharger is going to turn into a copy of the Pissy. And then Pissy effect is going to activate. That's going to bring back a copy of the Recharger. And then from here, they're going to synchro summon a copy of Savage. Savage effect to equip. That's going to be Striked. And now there's no more interruptions, so Dragon Link is free to continue. There's Tracer to go for like Recharger, they can Ravine first to like dump Red MD and stuff. This is looking pretty promising for Dragon Link, actually. They're actually going to Striker Dragon first. They're going to pop Pissy to add back Recharger. They're going to Recharger and then bring back the Tracer off of that. And then Tracer effect, because we actually haven't used that yet. And yeah, we opened the Recharger. So that's going to summon out a copy of Synchron from deck. And then going to go for a copy of Boro Sword. And is this game? So they might assume this is Walkero, but we know it's Scarlet, so let's run both scenarios. If this is Scarlet, which it is, if you attack with Tracer, they activate this to block, then you Sword, attack, pump to 4250, and they're only on 42 because of the strikes and the Curse Eldland. So yeah, you attack over, and then you switch to defense, and you attack for 4250 for game. And then if you go Walkero in defense doesn't actually block the Tracer attacks. So you have to put in an attack, and then you just get run over by Boro Sword. Wow, this is actually just a game, either way. That's crazy. So you're going to attack with Tracer first. Yeah, they had to attack with Tracer first. That was the only caveat. But yeah, that's actually just the end of game 2. That is not how I expected that game to end. But fair enough. Very, very good stuff. So let's go ahead and now just move into game number 3. Pretty fascinating match for sure. So it looks like Cursed Eldland, or why did I say Cursed Eldland? Zoo Eldlich is going to go first. Why am I saying incorrect names for everything today? I don't know what's happening. But before we get started in game 3, guys, I just want to quickly shout out my patrons as usual. Thank you very much for your support. The long form and consistent content is made possible thanks to you guys. If you guys want to help support the channel, definitely check out the Patreon link in the description below as well. I just dropped my pen, but we're going to move on. Kind of a weird video today, but we're just going to roll with it. So the opening hand for Zoo Eldlich is going to be Barrage, Conquistador, Nibiru, Scarlet, and Tenki. So this hand is really, really good. Not much to say here. This hand's crazy. And then the opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Quick Launch, Gamma, Wyvern Burster, Ash, and Red Reboot. Ooh, this is a weird one. So this will take care of the Eldlich portion. They'll have to contend with Nib, and they don't have the best hand. We'll see how this plays out. Activate Fire Formation Tenki. That's going to grab a search for a copy of Ram Ram. And then going to activate Barrage. That's going to pop the Tenki. Super strong. That's going to go for Third Blade. Third Blade effect, that's going to pitch Ram Ram to draw a strike, even better. Although, again, reboot. But going to go for the Borbo, and then go for Tiger Mortar. And then Tiger Mortar effect, that's going to attach the Ram Ram, making a pretty beefy Trident. And then going to go for a set 3, and then pass. For turn, oh, the top deck is Woodlegs the Guard Dragons, so that made this hand a lot better than it was previously, for sure. So we're going to start off with Quick Launch. That's going to summon a Rocket Tracer from deck. And then going to link that away for a copy of Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon's going to search for a Boot Sector launch. And then going to Special Summon Wyvern Burster by banishing the Rocket Tracer. And then going to link summon a copy of Romulus. Romulus and Wyvern Burster are both going to activate, so it's going to grab Collapse Serpent and Ravine. So yeah, just trying to hold out interruptions here. Again, you kind of have to nib before using your Eldlich stuff if you want to get value, and you probably want to Dryden before nib. There's like a lot of really, really important sequencing if you are the Zoo Eldlich player. Gonna go for Ravine. Ravine effect, that's gonna pitch Gamma, and then send Absa Router. Router effect to grab Tracer. And then gonna activate Boot. Boot Sector effect, that's gonna be Tridented. Pretty big actually, because there's not a valid special summon target for Woodlegs the Guard Dragon at the current moment. There's only targets to add back. So that definitely mattered. Gonna banish Wyvern Burster for Collapse Serpent. And then going to go for a copy of LP. Actually, we haven't normal summoned yet, so we can just normal this Tracer. I forgot about that. But yeah, that's gonna turn into LP. And then Woodlegs the Guard Dragon to move. So not even using it to add. I think people always forget that this can add back to hand. It doesn't have to summon it. So that could have added back Collapse Serpent just for free. LP going to be moved, though, off of the Woodlegs the Guard Dragon. Also, yeah, we haven't... Unless if I forgot, but I don't think we normal summoned, right? Because we quick launched, and then we went into Wyvern Burster, and that's how everything happened. And then Boot got popped, and then, yeah, I think we have our normal summon still. So this could have been played a bit different. LP going to be striked, and then going to chain red reboot to that. So that's going to resolve, setting another copy of strike. That's going to go for Rocket Tracer. And then Tracer effect on Warlord's Guard Dragon, that's going to go for Recharger. Do they know about the Tracer in hand? Yeah, right, because of the Apps Router. Yeah, so they do know about this. So that's why they're holding Nibiru here. Gonna go for Pisty, Pisty effect. Although Tracer was already used to bring out Recharger. But yeah, Pisty gonna bring back Tracer, and then going to go for a copy of Savage. Well, this is definitely gonna prompt the Nibiru if nothing else. So yeah, Nibiru gonna be used in response. And that is the end of the match, actually. So Zoodiac Eldlich taking that one down 2-1. Fascinating for sure. Yeah, normal summon Tracer would have not really accomplished a lot. Dark Lock means no fiber. Already used Tracer. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if Warlord's the Guard Dragon would have made a difference there. If they went like normal summon and then like go for a different play and then hold Warlord's the Guard Dragon. That was definitely an option. But interesting to see for sure these decks in action. Lots of back and forth in this matchup. This video is only 21 minutes. All right, I thought it was going to be longer. But yeah, I guess there was no way of coming back against what they knew was double strike. They didn't know about the Eldlich stuff, but the Eldlich engine was fully online. And they wouldn't have even been able to clear the Trident. Or no, the Nib would have cleared the Trident, but they wouldn't have been able to clear the Nib. So yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, there's Barrage here. That's also a thing. So a thing. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. But we're going to go ahead and end the video here. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me in the description box as usual. And until next time, I will catch you in the next video. See you guys.